الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبع سنته واهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It gives me a real pleasure to share with you this session of our brother Muhammad Ma'asum Billah, professor at IEI, and he joined recently, mashallah, the Islamic Institute, Economics Institute, and today, and he's well known in his field in Islamic insurance and investment, finance, and capital markets. Today, inshallah, he's going to share with us his observations, reservations about is Islamic finance Islamic? So let's evaluate. So he's got, I think, about 40 minutes, inshallah, and then we'll open the session for Q&A. The floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, and my friends, professors, and colleagues. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Even though the topic is like a revolutionary topic, but then this topic I have planned because of lately I came to understand that some scholars raised the issues that whether the Islamic finance is Islamic or not. You know, some said that actually it is not Sharia compliant and there is no basis in the Quran and Sunnah. Some said that actually this is something like bid'ah. You know, there are mixed views. So that's why this particular phenomena compelled me to come up with an issue so that we can, you know, excuse me, we can discuss, you know, and we evaluate the phenomena that we are observing today. You know, definitely, before I begin my submission here, I'll submit again that Islamic finance is Islamic. Definitely. And we see the progress, we see the achievement, we see the track record, there is no doubt. But this
conclusion should come after the evaluation.
Yeah, I will do that.
Jumping.
Yes. But then, because I don't want, you know, the confusion, but then this, the why I am taking this particular, you know, the very hitting way, because we really need to respond to those who still, you know, this behind their curtain actually that they are questioning that is Islamic finance Islamic, is sukuk Islamic, and so on. So we have to respond to them. Respond in not in a negative sense, but respond in the positive sense that actually let's get together, discuss together, share together, and find the solution. You know, instead of debating and fighting each other, that's not a solution. You know, let's come up with a good solution based on our mutual understanding, sharing, and so on. Now, there are 5 points that I'm going to, you know, share with you, preliminary remarks, and there are 3 groups, three groups: opponents, pessimism, proponents, and I will also highlight here some observation and final submission. Okay. As we know, we are all aware about the scenario that the Islamic finance, in fact, the revivration began after the Second World War, 1945. Though it was established in 1963, but the realization began shortly after the Second World War. Okay, so now, and the progress as we see today is less than a century. We see that today's tremendous progress in Islamic finance is not appreciated by Muslim as a religious component, but is a system, is an alternative system. And it's not only appreciated by Muslim, but also non-Muslim across the world. Now, as a result, the world witnesses today the progress in Islamic finance. About 400 over Islamic financial institutions, including the takaful, finance, banking, and so on, that we have in today's world. And then the asset size that estimated indicative, okay, is about USD about 1.6 trillion, but today it was as at 2013. But I have seen also the lately, but I could not quote because I need to verify that particular figure. That today is already crossing the figure of 2 trillion now, actually in 2015. Okay, so this is the asset size. The growth rate per annum is about 20.4% per annum, and is generally. It was also is a report from by 2013, but today I have to verify another report, so then I can highlight, but then it is more than that now. Even in Sukuk itself, we have about 30% growth rate, Sukuk itself, okay? Now, in the halal investment worldwide, and then I sum up here, the halal investment itself among the YC 57 countries, we have about the very, very satisfactory investment track record, whereby the sector that's like this textile, energy, the food, education, and so on. In many in other sectors, construction, development, we have this halal investment. Now, which represents the GDP among the YC countries is about 6.7 trillion as of today, okay? And with this growth rate is about per annum is about we have estimated between 2015 to 2019 is about this 5.4%, which is compared to other part of the world is 3.6%, and in the big nations is about 3.9%. So now how we can see how the tremendous and how the the excellent track record and achievement track record actually that we can observe in Islamic financial industry across the world. Not only that, in the corporate governance in the Islamic financial industry, that they are complying not only legal frameworks or the legislation passed by the parliament, but they are also complying with the Sharia standard, Sharia norms, spirit, and so on. That's why if we can compare, I do not have the exact figure, compare with the conventional banking industry or the financial industry, if we can compare, our Islamic financial industry have more substantial and more this reliable corporate governance, because of it's not only the regulatory frameworks passed by the parliament or the respective the lawmakers or the regulators, but also at the same time simultaneously it is required that the Sharia board should also monitor and this watchdog on the Islamic financial industry's corporate governance. Now, despite this particular achievement phenomena in the Islamic financial industry, unfortunately, there are still some debates in groups as to principles, practices, even concept. Okay, so now this particular debate is resulting basically is from the misunderstanding. I don't want to put misunderstanding, it's a mixed understanding, because we should not say misunderstanding because of maybe different person got different justification. So misunderstanding is due to rigidity, very rigid, okay, and or passivity, or flexibility, or rationality, okay. So now, those are the phenomena resulting or that compel us to question or create a question: is Islamic finance Islamic? It's not my question. I'm just summing up the question actually. So we evaluate and we determine the way forward, inshallah. Now the first is the opponents. It's also a mixed group among the Islamist, modernist, and also general. All categories of people include in this particular group. Okay. Now the issues and justification. Their justification, and I'm going to refute their claims. Okay. So among the issues is the question here: had Islamic finance been ruled out in the divine principles? This is the first question. Second question: was there any practices during the time of golden era of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of Khulafa Rashidin, and so on? Okay. Third question here: is it not bid'ah? Because if it is Islamic finance does not exist in the Quran and Sunnah, definitely it's a bid'ah. That's what their question actually. Fourth issue here, this is something resemblance to riba because of the charging over the financing is something resemblance to riba, and therefore it is not permissible. Next issue here, is it not amounting to deceiving, like gush, deceiving because of bargaining power on the financial institution? And financial institution, they impose the regulations or impose the liability on the customer. And they have to pay by hook and crook, they have to pay the service charge. So is it not riba? That's their question actually. And if it is deceiving, so if deceiving, it is totally haram because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that man gasha falaysa minna. Now, next issue here is the basis of sukuk. The sukuk is regulated basically based on two instruments basically in the Asia Pacific, based on the principles of ba'il, ba'ilena, and ba'iddain. Though in the different picture exists in the Middle East, I'll discuss later on. So these are the questions that are being raised by those opponents, okay? And then they concluded that actually, therefore, there is no existence or there is no basis of Islamic finance in the Sharia principles. Okay, now their justification. So there is no direct basis in the Quran and Sunnah, and also there was no any track record so far during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and also the golden era as to practice of Islamic finance. Okay. Third issue here that this particular Islamic financial practices by the name of Islam, they are mixing with something which is not recognized by the Sharia principle, does not exist in the Quran and Sunnah. So that means, that they are just mixing with the haq with batil, okay? And that is not allowed. So Quranic ayat, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 42, وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ. So now, this is the Quranic ayat that they are quoting. Next issue here, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 85, which provides that أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعضها. So now, it means that they are this particular group who are implementing Islamic finance, even though despite not having any basis in the Quran and Sunnah, so they are just believing part of the Quran and rejecting others. Okay, so that's the justification. Next issue here is a kind of deceiving because of there is no basis, there is no clear-cut Sharia regulations of charging over the financing, and therefore this is something like deceiving, deceiving, taking others' property with unfair, the treatment. And Rasulullah sallallahu mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, the man gasha falaysa minna. So these are the justification for these opponent groups. Now the refutation in brief, that there are numerous Quranic ayat like Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 275, which provide A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama al-riba. That's the leading verse which provides the foundation of Islamic finance that we practice today. Second issue here, that any transaction they mentioned there actually that actual gasha, because they are taking the charges with bargaining power. That's wrong actually. Any transaction in Islamic financial industry that we observe today is based on mutual understanding, mutual agreement, and consent. And it is in line with the Quranic ayah, Surah An-Nisa, verse 29, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم. So it means that whatever they are taking, imposing the charges is based on mutual understanding and agreement and so on. And that's complying this Quranic ayah that I mentioned to you earlier. And also the practices, next refutation here, they mention that actually there is no such practices during the time of Rasulullah as far as this self-finance is concerned. Now my issue here, that during the time of Rasulullah, even before the time of Rasulullah, we can see the foundation of Mudaraba, Musharaka, Wakala, Wadiya, Amana, and being endorsed after even Rasulullah also endorsed. Those are the instruments to facilitate the Islamic financial operation as we observe today. Now, next issue here, the principles of zakat is in the Quran, Surah Tawbah, verse 60, which provides إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ إِلَى آخِرِ. So now, from this ayat, we can infer easily that zakat imposed on income. So if there is no any financial transaction, if there is no deal, then how we can impose this particular sanction? So therefore, it is obviously understood that actually the financial transaction or financial basis is being endorsed or regulated or the rule out in the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, next issue here. As I mentioned, the taradi, about this, they are charging the service charge and all that. I mentioned Surah Nisa, verse 29, which clearly provides that there is no any charges without consent, and this is justifiable and fair and equitable charges imposed by the financial industries. Now, as regard to the sukuk, though in Malaysia and some other countries, they are applying the doctrine of bayalina and also bayadain in sukuk operation. For example, in the primary market, they are applying applying the principles of bayalina, bayalina to justify the primary market, while secondary market is justifying by the bayadain. So now, even though these particular two doctrines are opposed by the Middle East operation, and they are alternatively provides adopt this tawarru for the primary market, while the secondary market is al-muqarada. Okay, so this is something like the ulama's ikhtilaf, ikhtilaf. So it does not mean that we should reject, and there is no basis. So it is matter of ikhtilaf. So now this ikhtilaf can be resolved, resolved if they are sitting together, get together, discuss together. I believe it can be resolved. So it does not mean that they should be rejected. Okay, so now in other words, to submit here, again I'll submit later on that whatever they are questioning about the sukuk, that is baseless, and there is no justification so far because of it's a matter of time to resolve. Those are the debatable issues. The next group is the passivism, neutralism, because they just keep quiet. They keep silent, but they are the opportunists. If there is some benefit in Islamic finance, okay, they just take those benefits. If they realize that there is no benefit, they just ignore it. Okay, they are opportunist group, actually passivism. Passivism. So now this particular
pacifist.
No, pacifist.
Pacifist?
No.
No.
I will
Opponent.
discuss later. Sure. So pessimism. So this pessimism also, this includes the Islamist, the conservative Muslim, ulama, and also the modernists, and also this general non-Muslim and so on. They are opposing. They are keeping quiet. Even the many non-Muslim are participating, the non-Muslim participate in the Islamic financial market is not because of Islamic, it's just because of the commercial gain. Okay, so now this party, among the issues that of this particular group is they are confused with the different opinion from ulama. One alim say one issue, while the other oppose this. So that's why they don't want to involve with this kind of debate and conflict. They just want to play their, the passive role actually. And second issue here, the selection, rejection, or avoidance in the Islamic financial industry, whatever they're acting is just because of opportunity gain or opportunity test. If there is any benefit for them, they will opt it. If no, just keep quiet or ignore it. Okay, so in other words, they are in opportunity class. Next issue is that they are the blind follower. If one alim say, Middle East ulama say, okay, you have to go this way, they just follow that. Or in the Asia Pacific ulama or Indian subcontinent ulama say something, just follow this. So they are the blind followers. Usually they are not doing any research. They are not, finding that, discovering the truth. So they're just blind follower. And
all flowers are blind.
And then next issue here of this particular group is they're culturalized with the conceptual faith. They don't want to go in deeper. Okay. Now the justification for this particular group that there is a divine spirit that we should follow the leaders of ulama. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سورة النساء verse 59 and 56 أطيعوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول. So they just rely on this particular ayat that we do not have to do anything. We just follow Imam, what Imam say, or what Ulil Amr say, or what leaders say, what ulama say, that's all. So they just waive their responsibilities. Okay, next issue here, this divine spirit always, teaches us to avoid conflict, because in the Quran, verse Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 205, which provides that أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الله لا يحب الفساد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love the destruction, conflict, and so on. Therefore, we do not want to involve in conflict. We just follow. Next issue here.
Fasad means corruption.
Mischief.
Mischief.
There's a quote, we'll discuss here. Is a destruction, mischief, And then next issue here, comfortness with opportunity, as I mentioned already, that this preferred, they're just going whatever the good, the comfort and easy way, without going through any difficulty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 165, which mentioned, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want any difficulty. He wants all sort of comfortness or easy for you. Doesn't want any difficulty. So that we don't want to involve in any difficulties or complex. Last issue here is whatever they are doing is not for the pleasure of the human being or the creature, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have good intention that what we are doing is for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And our intention is good, because of everybody will be judged based on their intention. عن أبي هريرة عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنيات. So that justification. Now the refutation for this group is neutralism has no place in the teaching of Islam, either positive or rejection, but no room for the pacifism in Islam, because it's a very clear cut, either yes or no, okay, and which has to be justified. There is no neutralism. Second issue here is every mankind is created with the management responsibility or the wisdom and they should use their wisdom, akal, okay? Cannot just rely on somebody and position him or herself as a passive, okay? So now, there is a hadith, كلكم راع كل راع مسؤول عن رعيته. So this hadith very clearly provides that there is no any pacifism, or there is no room, or there is no any place for the pacifism. Sorry. Okay, last group, the proponents. Also the mixed group. We have Islamists, we have modernists, and also the general. The issues here that Islamic finance has been proven to be justified by the divine authorities, divine wisdom. Of course, I do not have to explain much on that. I've already discussed. Secondly, it has been ruled out and duly governed based on the Sharia standards, as we see today. Third issue here, corporate governance also of Islamic finance is based on the Sharia standard, and we see today. Next issue here, products and services in Islamic finance are in total conformity with the Sharia standard and principles. The next issue is the management and operation are required to be based on the Sharia standard and guidelines. Now the achievement, claims, and distribution in Islamic financial industry that we observe today is based on the accurate and is standard, the halal standard, okay, and is monitored by the Sharia board, Sharia scholars, and Sharia rulings. Now, the next issue here, the success in the Islamic financial industry that we see today is we can submit here that it is not because of the prioritizing on the commercial goal, but prioritizing, even the commercial goal is there, but prioritizing on the basis of the principles of maqasid sharia. Now the justification here for this particular proponents, the numerous Quranic ayat, as I mentioned earlier, again I quote here, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 275, and also Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 1, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil-uqud. This awfu bil-uqud is denoted on the financial, commercial, transaction, okay? So now, and then other ayat is the, as I mentioned, Surah An-Nisa, verse 29, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil-batil ila akhir ayat. And Sunnah, of course, there is a big chapter in the all, the siyasita, Sunan and so on, Kitab al-Buyu and so on, okay? And the instrument. So now, there is the Sharia instruments that facilitate the financial industries of financial operation, Islamic financial operation today, okay? Musharaka, Mudaraba, Wakala, Wadiya, Amana, and so on, okay? They are all Sharia instruments, and they are not only today invented, but they are during the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and then afterwards. Then fatwa, that juristic opinion issued by the respective ulama to facilitate, to regulate, to govern the Islamic financial operation smoothly in accordance with the Sharia principles, and practices, achievement, global track record that I have discussed already. The track record that we observe in Islamic financial industry is much greater and much talented and much, the obvious as compared to what we observe in the modern, the conventional financial industries today. Now, impact in reality for this particular contention is, it is due to this particular achievement. This Islamic financial operation is not only appreciated by Muslims today. Even from one of the statistics I have seen that 60% of the owner, 60% in the Islamic financial industry participants, either or the operator or the owner or the players or marketers, directly or indirectly, okay, are non-Muslim. 68%.
In Malaysia?
No, it's a global. Yeah. So now 68% directly, sometimes they are behind the curtain actually, but frontliner are Muslim, So now, why they are appreciating the Islamic financial operation is because of Islamic No, they are because of the commercial gain and a very sustainable gain. So now we can see that it's not only appreciated by Muslim because of the religious point of view, whatever it is, but it's also appreciated because of it has the sustainability, okay, appreciated by non-Muslim today, okay. So this is the track record that we can see today. In the growth rate I have discussed earlier, this is faster and also greater. We do not have any single product in the conventional financial industry which has the growth rate 30% compared to what we have in Sukuk. We do not have such track record in the conventional financial industry that the growth rate is 20% and so on, right? But we can see in today. But the Islamic finance is just a baby or the infancy stage. Yes, inshallah. So now, these are the track record. And then, but even though we have this achievement in the Islamic financial industry, despite this achievement, we have some shortcomings. Okay, shortcomings due to this mixed understanding, the mixed culture, system, mechanism, and so on. Okay, and as to products, principle, and so on. Okay, so but this debate or these shortcomings is not negative. It's not the subject of rejection. It's subject of encouraging us to involve in research and come up with the truth. So now in Islamic financial industry or the Islamic system, it is not within 24 hours. It has the nature or the culture, okay, of graduality. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he first, the blessed with wahi, okay, first 13 years in Makki life, okay, he was not able to establish Islamic state. The first Islamic state after migration to Medina. So this is the graduality, and then the Fateh Makkah, the Makkah victory was after 19 years of wahi, 19 years. So it's a graduality, okay? And today we see the world, how the victorious Islam, So now in Islam, there is no such thing. If some people claim that, no, Islam means 100% should be compliance, there should be, there is no compromise of, this kind of non-Sharia elements. No, there is no such nature in Islam. In Islam, there is a graduality. Like in Russia, I give an example. If they want to establish Islamic financial operation in Russia, in China, in Japan, we cannot say that you have to do it, you have to establish it with 100% compliance. It's impossible. It is possible in Saudi Arabia, it is possible in Malaysia, it is possible in some other Islamic world, but not possible in Russia, not possible in America, not possible in China, not possible in Hong Kong, and so on. They are allergic with Islam. Therefore, we have to tolerate that actually we give them chance, okay? Establish even 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 20% graduality. And that is called Islamic norm. And that's rationality. Now, my time is very, about 10 minutes. Let me sum up. So now, observation. My observation, Sharia compliance, there are three groups. One is the rigidity, total rigidity. Yes. If there is no 100% compliance, not Islamic. That's not the Islamic way actually. Second issue is the liberality, there's the subjective. Subjective means here, as I mentioned earlier, the pacifism, okay? So that's not acceptable in Islamic teaching actually. Now, rationality or the gradual effect. That's I mentioned that everything with a gradual effect. Not even that the teaching and the practices and the experience of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, within 23 years, he was able to complete the establishment of Islam. So that's the gradual effect. Okay. Now next issue here, the instruments. Continuous screening and reviewing is required as far as the instrument is concerned. Cannot just simply copy about 1 century ago and then we just adopt the same thing without reviewing and screening and this matching with the reality. Okay, Next issue here is the products and services should be innovation. There should be innovation and regular reviewing, and also the standardization in reality and complying with the real situation. Okay. Next is the personality and ethics. Unfortunately, I observe in some of the Islamic financial industry, they do not know how to behave with the customers. Sometimes they don't give salam. Do not ask them to sit on the chair even. Do not be as if like they feel customers are the subject matter, goodwill of the industry. But what they do, they are treating them like they are coming here to beg something. So that should not be acceptable in Islamic financial industry. Therefore, in Islamic financial industry, they should improve the quality of PR and also honesty, and the smartness, because the Islam will never tolerate to be the second. Okay, Islam is always the first. Okay, smartness. If the Western world is smart, for example, in the financial industry, the corporate sector, okay, what's wrong with our Muslim? The Muslim in the Islamic financial industry, the smartness also must be another component to be observed seriously. Corporate governance, standardization, good faith, holistic spirit, and so I mentioned to you, management operation, caring, sharing, concern, and so on. It's not just to have the objective how to gain commercially, but there must be also caring, sharing, concern, prioritizing the entity and the corporate entity over the self-interest or self-satisfaction. Now remarks here. Rejection, conflict is not a solution. That's we observe today, and that's slowing the industry's progress of today. Now, what is my concern here and my submission here, the before final submission, wisdom, tolerance, mutual respect, innovative culture with justifiable discovery may bring solution, progress, and prosperity in the Islamic financial industry. Now, final submission. Islamic finance as practiced today is generally Islamic. Justifiable under the broad principles and ethics of Sharia, though exceptionally some issues are still debatable or to be resolved by applying the doctrine of graduality. As I mentioned earlier, it is not today, it has been from the time of Rasulullah and afterwards. Okay? Now, it's justified based on the following submission. Number one is the empirical research. We have to have the empirical research. I realize in our research environment, unfortunately, I do not know whether we have any ISI standard journal or not in Islamic, but we have, let's say, the Scopus journal, one is Scopus journal, SOPA, why it should be. And I realize that the most of the scholars, even unfortunately, I observe that they are just copy, paste. It's just lazy, I'm very sorry to tell like that, because they don't want to go deeper and deeper actually. They just want to copy, paste, and just publish. It should not be the way. It is our responsibility that we should go into deeper and discover the truth. Based on the Quran and Sunnah, there are every solution that we can come up with, and then it is our responsibility that we should prove that there is a good solution and we can stand as an able alternative to the modern principles or modern practices as today. Second issue here, second submission here, the copy, paste, and name. Some countries, they just put the name Islamic, just change and copy from the conventional. That's not Islamic. That's also this is a serious wrong actually. This should not be Islamic. There should be proper, the designation of the products, system, the mechanisms, operational standard. It should be complying the maqasid al-Sharia, okay, and also the practical reality. And for this, the responsibility lies on the regulators and also industrialists. They should come up with a standard and the standard guidelines and the action plan, so that this industry will grow smoothly in accordance with the Sharia principle, and there will not be any debate further. Last issue here, ongoing debates and confusion in the Islamic financial industry that haunting the mind of the world today can be resolved by appreciating the spirit of unity, wisdom, sharing, mutual respect, and tolerance aiming at standardization for the common benefit of the Ummah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Many thanks for your presentation, and I think he has made a submission, and the turn is yours now to whether to accept, reject, or debate what he has just submitted about Islamic finance. Is it really Islamic? So he concluded that it is Islamic, regardless of what some has to say or to observe. So, Dr. Abu Qadir, do you have anything, please?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, brother. I can see you have put yourself among Musanidin, or they call this proponent. But I think most of us, or most of the people I know, they are neither mu'aridin completely, nor غير مبالين. I mean, they are no opponent completely, no pacifist, no proponent completely. We could be a proponent, but with reservations. We could say Islamic finance is okay, Islamic, but to some extent. There are a number of things, number of hiyal, number of ways used that are not acceptably Islamic, like tawarruq and others, and still they are being applied and used. So the fourth category could be there, musanidin with reservation or something.
Dr. Omar?
Actually, thank you, Dr. Prof. Masoom. Thank you, dear Prof. Masoom, for this valuable lecture. Really enjoyed this presentation and the good effort put in this research. And just my comment on the point he mentioned, that most of the ulama of today, that you just make copy and paste. Really, this is our problem. There is a laziness in our researchers of today. Even the Islamic tools of Mudaraba, Salam, and Sharika, just based on the old books. Just they change the terms of the old scholars in Islam and make the framework of Islam, but there is no a genuine researchers which come out with the new products of Islamic thought. Still now, we are dependent, and we are followers of the others. But this is a bottleneck how to go through this dilemma. There is no genuine research in the Islamic. So this is the critique on the researchers of the Islamic scholars of today. They are lazy. Even we used to make a symposium, Al-Baraka Symposium, for 35 years. Most of, I am in scientific research, most of the researchers, of the contributors, are already prepared for some conference. The same research or the same paper has been written before, more 5 years, 6 years, and just submitted to the Al-Baraka Nadwa. It's not a new research. This is laziness.
Why do you accept it?
I know.
Why do you?
I have no alternative.
No alternative.
No, they have to have the symposium.
Yeah.
There's
No general research. I have experience.
Yes.
This is your serious problem. That's not the research.
Please, Doctor, later on.
Thank you.
No, yes, go on. Finished? So it is not evaluation of Al-Baraka, but it is the whole picture. Okay, yes. Not anymore.
I think Dr. Umar got some questions.
Yes, if you'd like to go on. Yes, if you do have. No, I'm talking about Dr. Karim, just to let you carry on. If you do have some, let us, please.
And even the awareness of Islamic economy or Islamic economy in general, there is poor understanding on the grassroots of the Muslims about the Islamic economy issues. And even the zakah, the third pillar of Islam, when we probably have practice in Sudan in the zakat chamber, even the people that are not cope up to the standard of zakat, some they have doubts that if I gave my zakat to the Zakat chamber of Sudan, maybe you will not reach to the right channel. So they don't cooperate. There is doubts even in the minds of the people in Zakat. We need to spread these norms of Islamic finance in media, in schools, in our journalism and symposium in TV. Our TV, most of them players and singing and Turkish players. They are not making, they will not add to the Islamic culture, but degrade the Islamic culture. We have to raise the awareness about the Islamic norms. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, please introduce yourself because it's the first time.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mr. Yazir Khidan, master in economics. I've one question.
Where from? Where are you? What? Can you know?
I'm studying here. I'm working in the Algerian Consulate General here in Jeddah. I'm from Algeria. Thanks, Mr. for your presentation. Not question, but remark. I generally approve what you have presented, but I would have preferred to talk about a practical and special issue that affects the global economy. For instance, trying to present an opinion about the latest world crisis, its origins and causes, and the Islamic solution for this crisis, as example. But the lecture was general, presented generally. We would prefer to present an example to have a general idea about the Islamic solution.
No, just close this one. لو سمحت يا أخي.
This one.
أيوة.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank Professor Masoom for this valuable lecture. I have a few number of comments. Just please bear with me. The first thing is that the topic I was expecting some, it says Islamic finance, Islamic, let's evaluate. I was hoping for some detailed evaluation. So maybe in later stages, maybe you can give us some more. This was basically a general lecture about the Islamic finance industry. That's the first comment. Secondly, before I continue, I would say that I am one of the opponents of Islamic finance. Not exactly opponents, but as Dr. Shashi said, opponents with strong reservations. I would not say reservations, strong reservations.
Opponent or proponent? I said I'm proponent with reservation.
Okay, no, sorry.
Yes.
Proponents with strong reservations. He said reservations, I would say strong reservations. But as Professor Masoom, he said that the way to move forward is debate. Debate these reservations. Those people who have those reservations, let's come together, let's debate these issues and come to a solution. As you mentioned that one of the issues here is that our scholars, they are just copy pasting and they don't want to make some effort in doing some research. I partly agree with that, but I think that there is another issue which I have experienced personally. In my opinion, that is the opinion that I have, that there has been a lot of debate in the recent years about Islamic finance and particular products or in general. But the thing is that what I have seen is there is no response from the Islamic bankers, people who are actually practicing this Islamic finance. There is no response. They hear those comments, they attend those debates, but there is no change. They don't want to change what they are doing, what they have been doing for the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They don't want to change that. They just want to continue doing that. People are debating these issues. They are presenting alternative ways to improve the Islamic finance industry, but there is no response from the industry. Let me give an example about tawarruk. It has been debated for a long time, and the OIC Academy, they have passed the resolution, I think in 2010, about its invalidity. But there was no response from the Islamic industry. Those people who were doing tawarruk before, they are still doing tawarruk. Those who are not doing tawarruk, they are still on the same. They started doing tawarruk. They started, maybe, yes. So there is no response from the industry. The issue is, from my opinion, is that there is no sincerity in changing. We just want to increase our profits. We just want to increase our Islamic finance. We don't want to change, and we want to get the shortest and easiest way to get something. We are not concerned with how Sharia compliant is it or not. Is it another point that you mentioned in your research is that we should look at the maqasid al-Sharia. No one is looking about the maqasid al-Sharia. They are only concerned with their own profits. Last point, just to give an example, one of the products, the most widely used product in Islamic finance is murabaha. And we know that one of the principles of murabaha is that once you have set the price, the murabaha price, you cannot change it. Once you have set the time, even if the time period is, for example, 5 years, but the person who is the customer, he delays the payment. It takes 6 years to make payment. He does not pay. You cannot increase it. If you increase it, it will be riba. In one of the banks, I actually read one of the fatwa of one of the scholars, that he said that increasing the price of murabaha is not allowed according to Islam. It is riba. But due to the financial crisis, this is an ittirari situation, necessity, and we can allow that. So this is just an example. As an example, that we are not looking for the maqasid al-Sharia. We're not looking at the solutions. We're looking at our own profit. How can we manage our own issues and our own profit? Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brother Masoom, can you put up the last slide? The very last one, where the submission.
Submission, yes. The last one. Last one. Yeah, this one.
I'm elder brother of Dr. Shashi and father of brother Yahya, my son Yahya. So I am a very strong proponent with very strong reservations. The very first sentence you say, Islamic finance as practiced today is generally Islamic. I would say Islamic finance as practiced today is generally non-Islamic.
Oh.
So diametrically opposed, but still I am very strong proponent of Islamic finance. There are two kinds of people who are going against Islamic finance. One group is Taimur Quran, Mahmoud Jamal, want to destroy the experiment. The other one, and that I'm taking encourage because you said so much the tolerance, so you will tolerate me, that this Islamic finance, 4 years ago in this very forum, I presented a seminar, is Islamic finance, quote unquote, Islamic? and I gave the conclusion, no, it is not.
Still not after so many
And after 4 years, it is worse. 4 years, the ratio of tawarruk and sukuk, which are as practiced, totally un-Islamic, may be 20%. Now it's up more than 80%. These two products alone, 70 to 80%. So, as practiced, they are not. But I do not want to be in the group of Taimur Quran and Mahmoud Jamal. We have to evaluate and correct, not only evaluate and correct. And it is correctable. We can put Islamic finance back on its track, but we have to, as you said, revolutionary, but I would say, later on you said, gradualism, that is evolutionary. So let it be evolutionary, but gradualism with a time plan. And I give you the example of Pakistan. They say that in 1979, the highest court of Pakistan, the Supreme Court of Pakistan, declared riba un-Islamic as practiced today. The bank interest, I would say. That's a bank interest, not un-Islamic. And then they say that it should be gradually removed. Now we are at 2015. That cycle is going on and gone, and has done the same. Not only the same, that decision of the Supreme Court was challenged, and it was reverted back to the original court, the Federal Sharia Court. We started that process. So evaluation or gradualism with a plan to move towards, we must first know what is the haq.
Yes.
And where we are. And then we say, okay, we cannot afford, quote unquote, to apply. We're not talking about Russia. I'm not talking about Russia or Hong Kong. I'm talking about Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. I hope it's not being recorded. It is, huh? So I should pack up my luggage, and even in Saudi Arabia, as you have heard, the fatwa are being given against the sukuk. The chairman of IOFI says that 80% or 85% of the sukuk are non-Islamic, not Sharia compliant. No change. The market is not listening. Why it is not listening? The reason is very clear. Man ghashya walaysa minna. You yourself said it, that the majorities are non-Muslims. They are not from us. So they have taken over Islamic financial and industry. And they are cheating us. And Prophet says, and they are not among us. The Islamic finance industry has been hijacked by, this is not something to be happy that non-Muslims are the majority. It would have been something to be happy if our products were adopted. No, their products are being the tawarruk and zakuk and others under the stamp of being Islamic. Our own people, they are saying they are non-Islamic, so they are, and the things are going on. Even the Samba is now offering you tawarruk. The Saab is. I'm talking not about Russia. I'm talking about in Saudi Arabia. They are offering tawarruk. They are offering the sukuk issues. They are offering you murabha, not the genuine one, on paper. You enter the bank and you buy a aina, and you come up with a larger amount due after 1 year. So,
And approved by Sharia board.
And approved by the Sharia board. So, unfortunately, the situation is not good, but not pessimism, optimism, with some dynamism like Abdul Razak, not laziness. we are not moving ahead, we are going backwards.
أنا لو يعني أتكلم أنا سوف أنفجر، لأنني أنا ألاحظ شيء أقولها صراحة. يعني يسهل الحكم على الآخرين هل هو إسلامي أو غير إسلامي، على الدول وعلى المؤسسات وعلى البنوك، لكن إحنا كأشخاص في حياتنا اليومية يعني نقول صراحة
دكتور معصوم بالله،
إحنا في حياتنا اليومية عندنا إشكالية. ليش؟ لأن يعني أنت تحاكم الآخرين، لكن في حياتك هل تطبق يعني هذه المبادئ الإسلامية؟ أنا في تقديري يعني أقولها بكل تواضع، يعني إحنا في حاجة أن كل واحد هو يحاول أن يطبق هذه المبادئ، ويعني أنك أنت تقدم يعني هذا البدائل. أما يعني هذه المحاكمة، إحنا عندنا قرون يعني إحنا دائما في هذه المحاكمة، هل الدول هي إسلامية، المؤسسات إسلامية؟ يعني الآن يعني آن الوقت أو تقديم يعني هذا البدائل، لأن هذا الحوار سوف يبقى هكذا قرون. هؤلاء يعني هذه المؤسسات بغض النظر هي اجتهدت، لكن الشطارة يعني يسهل لأي واحد أن يعني أن يتكلم هكذا، لكن يعني منذ عقود إحنا باقين هكذا. الإشكالية أنا في تقديري هي أوسع من الحلال والحرام، هي أوسع من الحديث عن المقاصد، هي أوسع من يعني التمويل الإسلامي، الاقتصاد الإسلامي. الإشكالية الكبرى يعني هي إيش معناها؟ يعني أنتم تلاحظون دائما هل يعني مثل ما قال الأخ الحلول الإسلامية يعني أزمة، يعني هذه المقاربات هي خاطئة. ليش؟ لأن المطلوب هو الحلول الإسلامية للمجتمعات الإسلامية. يعني قبل إحنا أو داخلين في يعني في هذا التفكير، رأيت في التفكير الازدواجية، الشرق الغرب، الإسلامي غير الإسلامي. يعني مع كل احترامي يعني هذه المصطلحات يعني أنا أتعجب كيف إحنا نستخدم هذه المصطلحات الاستشراقية. رأيت الإسلاميون الحداثيون يعني هذه المصطلحات. المجتمعات الإسلام يعني أنا صراحة يعني غير ممكن أن يقول هل أنا حداثي أو إسلامي وهكذا. أنا إنسان بسيط. يعني إيش
مش بسيط، أنت باحث في مركز اقتصاد إسلامي.
أنا إنسان بسيط. يعني إيش معناها؟ أنا صراحة يعني كل ما أتقدم في السن وكل ما أحتك يعني بين قوسين الباحثين في الاقتصاد الإسلامي والتمويل الإسلامي، يعني أرى أنه يعني هي لا ليس إيش معناها في الدول الأوروبية وحتى غير الأوروبية. هناك بعض الاجتهادات، الحلول الأخلاقية الاجتماعية هكذا. إحنا باقيين في يعني هذا الحراك. يجب أو التجاوز يعني الحكم على الآخرين. يعني أهم شيء أنك إذا أنت كنت شاطر قدم هذا البدائل، وأترك الآخرين يعني يشتغلون بكل صراحة. ليش؟ لأن نفس الأشخاص هم يتكلمون منذ 30 سنة و40 سنة ويحاكمون الآخرين بدون أن يقدموا البدائل. يعني هذه صراحة يعني أنا أرى ينبغي الخروج من هذا الحوار العقيم. يعني هل هذا إسلامي أو هذا غير إسلامي؟ لأن الإشكالية الحقيقية هي هل عندنا الحلول الواقعية لحل يعني هذه المشاكل
المجتمعات الإسلامية. أنتم تروا أن هناك هو كبيرة، يعني الآن يعني المجتمعات الإسلامية في سوريا وفي اليمن يعني هي تعاني من هذه المشاكل يعني الكبيرة، واحنا قاعدين في هذا الأبرج يعني يعني الحديث هل هذا إسلامي أو هذا إسلامي. يعني في هذه الفترة في هذا الحوار هناك يعني عشرات الناس يعني هي تموت في حاجة إلى هذا اللقمة. يعني أخيرا أتعجب أنا يعني كيف بعض الباحثين في الاقتصاد الإسلامي يعني يتكلمون عن الطاقة الحلال، الإلكترونيات الحلال، يعني السياحة حلال. يعني هذه يعني للصراحة أنا أنصح يعني أنصح وأتمم هنا. يعني أحد الكتب التي ألفت في فرنسا وصدر في 2005 اسمه إسلام السوق، رأيت أنا قدمت له حوار في 2008 ثم ترجم في 2015. عندما قرأت هذا الكتاب عندما كنت في فرنسا أنا كنت يعني أنزعج. الفكرة الأساسية أنه الوصف الإسلامي يعني معناها الإسلام أصبح سلعة، لكن كل ما يتقدم الوقت كلما يعني أنا أقترب يعني عندي هذه القناعة أنه الإسلام أصبح أو سلعة حتى في الوسط الأكاديمي. يعني كل تواضع علينا الخروج أنا في تقديري من هذه الحوارات يعني التي هي تتركنا، لأن التحدي الحقيقي هو البديل الذي يمكن أن أقدمه أنا، وليس أنني أبقى منذ عقود أن أحاكم الآخرين.
Don't worry, Dr. Masoom, his office is next to yours. He will come and translate his comment.
يفهم إذا يستخدم الآيات والأحاديث يفهم.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for your comment. I think the presentation, as everyone evaluated your presentation to be very general, which is most of them are well known, they know about it, most of them. We were expecting, as a brother from Algeria and others, they said that something more specific, more detailed information. Even the percentages and data which you were quoting, but there is no reference to it. I mean, how do you get 68%, or how is Islamic finance doing better than the conventional ones, the 30% growth and so on? There's no backup for it. But keeping that aside, critic, proponent, they would remain forever. You cannot get rid of them. Whether it is Islamic or even conventional one. Even the conventional one, the conventional people, the non-Muslims are critical about their system. Not everyone from the conventional Islam economics, they are proponent of what is going on. They are opponents. That will remain there forever. But the important thing is we need to bring out some alternatives. If you have a better alternative sukuk, bring it out. If not, improve that instead of being too critical about it. Tawarruk, people have been critical, but nobody has come out with the better solution to bring out a credit card or something, or something alternative even to the very system of the cards. No. But we have been saying, no, it is not halal, this is halal. And as you were saying, I mean, in Islam there is either you are this yes or no, halal or haram. Yes, there is in between the two, there is. You cannot be just the two. We have been given that option. But, yeah, makruh is there. Some of them they accept it, some of them they don't. It is better to be on the safe side, that's a different thing. But we need to come up with some alternative. Just being proponent and opponent doesn't solve anything. Thank you.
Somehow we covered what Abdul Razak was saying. We need alternatives instead of judging this or that.
I am his student.
Or you are a teacher, which one?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I present my apology that I had to go to clinic, so therefore I missed almost presentation.
Allah yashfik.
Yeah.
Allah yashfik.
Allah yashfik. Amin. But fortunately, I got this slide, and although I could not finish it, and to comment on so many comments have already come. I don't want to comment on all of the points, but I'll add one or two points. But before that, my question is, هل نحن مسلمون? You know this book. There is book and this. هل نحن مسلمون? So I think we raise this question. Same type of any discussion will arise, and no solution we can find, and still will be inshallah Muslim, and فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Actually, this is one cannot be 100% Muslim, but he must try to be as far as possible. When the door is closed, then we have to find out some way. Anyhow, so under these kind of differences, it has already come. These differences are from very beginning of Islam. And if we just follow the fiqh and choose the points which are everything lenient and permissible, so you can find this kind of Islam also, that everything is permissible. Anyhow, but actually the solution is that we should as far as possible try to find out the solutions. I think Allah ibn Taymiyyah has said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not imposed anything, but it has provided a solution for that. So if we have to actually keep on our efforts. Now related to your slides, just one or 2 points. In the beginning you have said that in the modern era, the revibration of Islamic finance began shortly after the Second World War. I think one question is that why after the Second World War? There may be a question, but actually this question is not correct. We should know the history of the Islamic banking and finance. In fact, it has been, and some of the writers said that that bank interest is riba. It is the invention of 20th century. In the 19th century, bank interest were not considered as riba. But this is false. In one of my presentation, I quoted so many scholars of 19th century that they either they had reservation about this or they criticized it. So, but people say like this, that this is a idea which was developed in 20th century, that they consider bank interest as riba. So we should know the history. And Dr. Hamidullah has presented a practical example in Hyderabad that in the year 1889, and at the end of the 19th century, that in Hyderabad there was of course it was a very simple, not a modern bank. At that time, even most of the countries were not having bank at all. But they had this kind of practice that some kind of lending and borrowing was done interest free, without interest. So we can say that it was product of 30s or 90s, 40s of the last century. And even any effort went on. What we find in 40s and after Second World War, it was also found before Second World War. In India, in Hyderabad and other places. So this is one thing we should present the correct history. The other thing that either the second slides in the restitutions you wrote principle of zakat tax on income profit. This is, I think, a reply to those who to opponent. Is this and reply that we had a principle of zakat on income and profit? Is it a reply to the opponent? Opponent, yes. But I think this statement is not correct. That we don't have zakat on income and profit. Income and profit are the flow concepts, and wealth or savings, they are stock. So zakat is on stock, not on just income and means at least halan al hawl. There should be halan al hawl. Of course, if already some income is existing, some saving or wealth is existing, then we can at the zakat date we can include whatever is profit or whatever is any income. But if there is no halan al hawl, then whatever is profit or whatever is income, there is no zakat. So zakat is not on and basically on profit or income. It is on stock, what is saving.
There are some zakatable things that does not need hawl,
That's not correct.
like on the agriculture, for example.
In most of course, there are some exceptions. In general, you see about agriculture is different, and in case of agriculture, it has not nisab. But don't say that in zakat there is no nisab. So I mean, in general, what you understand that.
No, that's not exception. That is
Zakat
not
is
exception. Zakat is both on stocks and on flow.
No, even
And the flow may be greater than the stock, because in zakat, in the land produce, now you can have five crops in a year, and every crop, every crop.
Let me
you will
finish. You
have
see,
to-
zakat, there is no concept of profit or income in the case of agriculture. Agriculture, you see, of course, there are different opinions of scholars. Some say that, especially modern scholars like Mudakab, that we should just subtract the cost. But some others say no. Whatever is produced, you have to pay zakat. So
And that's a flow.
No,
That's
so,
a flow.
what my presentation that in general, what you understand the profit and income, let us exclude about agriculture. About agriculture, there are a lot of differences. Even some say there is no nisab, some say still there is nisab. In the Hanaf, kullama,
And nisab or no nisab, but everybody agrees that there is zakat.
of course.
And zakat on agriculture is flow.
Please, Doctor, because the time is.
Okay.
Please make your point,
Okay.
and then we'll see.
Actually, what I say from one point of view or one angle, what Dr. Murad was saying, it is from another point of view. There may be some kind of any adjustment between the two.
Okay, pass the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But
then,
anyway, what's your point? What you would like to say about that's the incorrect, the wording there?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
No, my basic question was about the statement in this presentation that principles are zakat and tax on income and profit. So I said that it is not even you can say it is not a general statement. Mostly we don't have.
Okay, it is incorrect.
Except, let me add, except.
Okay, it needs
Agriculture.
fixation.
Huh?
It needs fixation according to the the proper understanding of zakat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is on income and savings.
So please, Dr. Mason, please write this on your so that will be specific.
Oh, that's also okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else, please?
Yeah, just
Please.
one thing is that about when we quote Quran, you see, refer Quran, I think we give the reference of the exact ayah, or we say as we understand from the Quran. Sometimes I find that people just describe something according to their understanding and just refer to Quran. And if a person who does not know, he think that it is exactly in the Quran. So we should be very careful.
Yes.
Because it depends on our understanding. We state something and then just refer. See why. So I think we should be careful about this, about the Quran.
جزاك الله خير.
Yeah.
Very good. دكتور عمر بصراحة. Yes, half a minute.
Yeah,
Yes.
less than that. Based on what said Prof. Munawar Iqbal, this the image of Islamic banking.
Islamic finance.
Yes,
Is more.
Islamic finance. There is a remark said by the father of this Ahmed Najjar.
محمد أحمد أي نعم.
Ahmed Najjar. He said in a book, the practices of Islamic banks, including what Islamic finance, is not Islamic finance. And I suggest to close these Islamic banks totally and then start from the beginning. And this is also written a book on the practice of Islamic Bank of Jordan. One doctor, he said, Muhammad Ramiz, he make his PhD on this, the practice of this Jordan Islamic Bank, and he concluded that the practices by Islamic bank is not according to Sharia and it's not Islamic bank. And I have precise remarks of this book. He said also, I agree with Dr. Najjar, this Islamic bank should be closed.
Okay, shouldn't that go to this? Please close that. Because the timing is, please, I'm because I'm about Salah.
One comment.
And also I have I do have my as well, my comment. But anyway, I reserve it. My general thing from the methodological point of view, as the brothers they've said, it is too general and it needs preciseness. For instance, I was really a little bit frustrated when, for instance, the opponents, Dr. Ma'soom, he raised, for instance, bid'ah, or I think these are irrelevant. They are not a relevant point to the Islamic. Yes, because if you say that الأصل في المعاملات الحل, that will drop out all these small few things. I think the most important thing is that really we need to have, alternatives in theory and in practice. So in theory, we need, for instance, to revisit the financial intermediation itself, to finance the products and the financial engineering and how to product this. Is it just window dressing for the existing, or to have some new, or just to copy and paste from the old? So we do have many methodologies that needs also revisited from the foundational point of view. And so I would suggest that if it is possible to be specific on one issue and to discuss it, for instance, as I said, the theory of financial intermediation, the products, or even the Sharia boards and their role and how we can enhance the reality and practice it. Also, as Dr. Islahi says, I think we have to be very specific when we're quoting the Quran and the Sunnah. We say numerous divine authorities to justify the practice of Islamic finance. No, there are few. The ulama, they say, in terms of the mu'amalat, there are few guidelines. So details are in ibadah, not in mu'amalat. So I would suggest that probably when our prof will rewrite the paper, will be very specific to the what he is going to address and how to resolve and to produce a solution. Thank you anyway for your submission and for sharing your concern with us. And that's a very important thing that we do have now a fourth group. Okay, that's an achievement in itself.
In addition to what you said, that when he revises, he will do the things that you have said. He believes in gradualism. So in the title page, instead of putting one man and two women, he will put four.
Okay, so if we have just 2 or 3 minutes, yes. Not all of them, please. Those who don't have time.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, I would like to just sum up the response here.
Read the general things.
Okay, Dr. Shashi, I agree with your the reservation and your proponent anyway. Then Dr. Omar, you have we agree with the issue that the researcher, we need to polish up our this our research this style, this yes, I agree with you. And then the last issue that our Algerian brother he mentioned. Yes, this one requires a lot of discussion actually about how we can come up with an Islamic solution to the world awareness and all that. So if he's here, probably I could share a little. This could be. The other year he mentioned here about the detail, and also same thing Dr. Ahmad, Dr. Kalim also mentioned about the detail. Dr. Islahi also about the detail. The topic, in fact, for information is a general topic. Is Islamic finance Islamic? Because I did not go for the micro, it's a macro. If I go for micro, for example, Sharia board, or the products, or the services, then it could be detailed, because time will not allow that kind of year. So that when I see the topic is general, I discuss generally actually, because of the time will not allow to go for one specific issue in detail, then it will be unfair for the detailed discussion. That's why my perception was this way actually. Probably in the future, probably I will go for specific issue is better, because that's better. Then can go for detailed discussion, And this topic is coming because of I hear on lecture couple of weeks ago, I think, because of that issue that I come up with this generalization actually. And sorry for the inconvenience caused. Now, another thing is the brother here, he also mentioned about the this raising the issue to the corporate sector and they don't respond. Probably there are three issues. One is maybe they don't respond because of they don't have knowledge, or maybe they don't have sincerity. As you mentioned, I agree with you. And or they don't bother about the sincerity or whatever knowledge, they just care about the profit. That's what had happened actually. That's why they don't want to bother what Sharia scholars concern and all that, It could be in the corporate sector. And that, Now, as regard to the Murabaha, I agree with you because of there is no such time value charge and all that, there is no such, okay? We can discuss detail on this issue. Now, Prof. Iqbal mentioned about the few issues. Yes, I do agree, even though I mentioned here is just, this, we evaluate. So he mentioned reevaluate, So I agree with that. And non-Muslim hijack is a big question actually, but it's understood already. You understand that? I agree with that particular issue and how we can resolve this issue. Now, and we are going backward. That may not be correct yet because we are going forward, but then maybe we are facing a lot of shortcomings and all that issue. Dr. Abdul Razak, I could not understand much. So I think I'm going to sit with him. Probably I listen the question again. He's my neighbor. So Dr. Kalim, you mentioned about the detailing. I have mentioned already because of this issue. Maybe in the future we can go for a specific issue and component, go detail. You understand. So depend on the topic. Now, as regard to data and references. Because I could not quote actually, we have some. This one is the Ethic Institute of.
I think when you write the paper, you will, of course, you will provide.
This one is the dinar standard. Dinar standard. Okay. This one is the YC data. This one is the financial inclusion, is Global Financial Development Report 2014 at page 174, 175. We have the detail about YC countries data, but time did not allow actually. So references are there actually. Now the last issue here is the Dr. Islahi has mentioned about the zakat. In fact, I have, when I mentioned the profit and then the income, I include also this, I mean here also the stock and everything. Anything generate income, even though the agro, whatever it is, that's income. Even the stock itself cannot have any zakat, but the stock we realize the income, in income. So now this what is not only the financial, so that's what we mean, but probably I will appreciate Dr. Islahi's concept, so I will explain that part, so it's better for me. Next issue here, Dr. Islahi mentioned about the history issue. History, of course, this one, generally after Second World, but of course the Islamic finance began long ago, you understand that? But this is how the current situation whereby the present practice is being realized after the Second World War. So that's what I have quoted. About the Quranic references, I have mentioned in the, when I mention numerous divine authorities, immediately I mention Quranic ayat number and all that, And all the Quranic ayat that I have cited here, I think I have mentioned all the citation here actually. All this. Hadith, I could not mention the kullukum ra'in or kullum mas'ulun ra'in. I couldn't cite. So those I take note. Those are the references to. But because of the this time space actually, so I take note of those sort of things. Thank you. And Dr. Ahmed concern is the last one. Same thing. So thank you very much.
جزاك الله خير. جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. I think the prayer is on, so we'll join the prayer. جزاك الله خير.